Alright, chat, welcome to the stream. Today we're gonna be exploring blind XSS, both material, and I will also show my own hunting tips and tricks. Um, I guess I'm gonna show you how you can build your own customized payloads. Well, we will be basically using most of the XSS Hunter, or maybe even XSS.report payloads at most. But I guess we're gonna still I will show you what you can do to customize them a little bit. And even though we won't be hunting live here because it could be against the service of like streaming, but I will show how you can prepare really well and where you should look for. And looking for materials like write-ups, reading write-ups is I guess okay, because we will see how other people are doing this. So this is gonna be fun run, I guess. Let me share what I currently seeing right now. So I am finally ready to be a Twitch affiliate. So my plan is actually, as I already reached 50 followers, I have right now 81 followers, so it's getting closer to the final goal. And I streamed over 8 hours and 7 days, so that's I guess enough to become affiliate. So my plan is to set up everything up, so when you, for example, decide to purchase the subscription on Twitch, you will also unlock some perks on Discord as well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can also check the first stream where I explained different levels of membership that I currently have. So you won't necessarily need to support me via Patreon. You could also become Twitch streamer. So first level, I guess it will be with first subscription, and there is other type of subscriptions on Twitch. I gonna review this and like try to do something similar, but it's currently available on Patreon. So that's my current plan. Hopefully I will set up everything until tomorrow stream, we will see. And other thing, I'm also getting pretty close to the 5k followers on X. So it's like my growth slowed down quite a bit here because I was not really posting a lot of stuff here, but I will start posting more. But guys, if you haven't followed me here, feel free to do so, because I'm really excited to reach that. And this is only 16 followers left until 5k, so hopefully I will get some. So yeah, today I guess we gonna check the blind XSS. I have personally 2 articles written in that topic as well. I guess I'm gonna review my write-ups as well, probably. But what I want to do before diving into my own write-ups, I want to read what other people wrote, and then I will try to compare it. And maybe in the middle somewhere in the stream I will also give you some tips how you can customize some payloads and stuff like that. So this is like my write-up, but I see I have prepared my own website, already opened this tab, but let's see what other people are writing about blind XSS first. So find blind XSS like pro. It's kind of clickbaity, but not sure if it's truly pro or not, or amateur. We will see. But it got my attention right now. Small intro. Find blind access like pro in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, it's very misleading, because blind XSS are those type of vulnerabilities where you actually submit like a lot of payloads, but you will never know when those payloads would fire. It could fire today, it could fire tomorrow, it could fire after a couple of months. So in 2 minutes, it seems kind of sketchy from here. But let's read it. Don't get premature assumptions. So he basically, as the title, it's not really clickbaity from here. For example, he just pasted at code. some kind of code where this payload was injected, but I see right now from here it is very very simple payload. It's not escaping many stuff, even though there is nothing to escape. This is happening inside HTML tags. The context is very simple, but there will be cases when you actually do need to escape a lot of different tags, maybe different contexts, even some comments. So in that case, like using some kind of polyglots could truly help. But all right, I guess like this, he's saying that this article is like a pro, but I'm not sure. Like, let's read it first. Small intro. If you are here, I'm beginner bug hunter and cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm currently learning bug hunting. So it's very misleading because the second sentence says that he's beginner, even though the title was different. Like it's straight away, it's very misleading. And he also like he includes his own social media. What I recommend, if you for example decide to write an article, always include your personal stuff after the article, because people might not like your article straight away. So why you're shoving into everyone's face your personal details? And at the beginning you said you're also beginner. Not sure. All right, you have probably clicked the title. In this blog I'm going to discuss on popular type of XSS that big security researchers don't pay much attention to, obviously finding it. I don't personally say that big security researchers are not looking for blind access. Actually, that's quite the opposite. The big security researchers actually looking for those because you can get criticals, and criticals are very high bounty. So it's very wrong here. All right, introduction. Let's discuss what XSS is. XSS, okay, we know already what is XSS, types of XSS. We can skip that. If you watched my previous streams, you already knew. Working of blind XSS, finally, the like normal topic. Blind access works when you inject XSS payload in the target website's comment boxes, sign up and login forms, contact forms, email newsletter boxes, and etc. Well, it is some value at least from this point, because he mentioned where you can inject blind XSS, so it's kind of okay. It gets 1 or 2 points from me. When you inject them, you have to wait to be executed. When it's executed, the tool used for blind access will send you an email telling what your payload is executed. Okay, this is basically a very simple explanation what it is actually. First, choose a target website when use a tool for blind XSS. Okay, but he haven't yet explained what type of target to choose, what type of tool. I would like to hear about that. But okay, he is also recommending BXS Hunter for finding blind XSS. So back in the day, BXS Hunter used to be like for everyone to register. Oh no, that's actually different tool. So I haven't tried this one myself. I probably will try in some upcoming streams. I'm not sure, but I thought he meant XSS Hunter, but this is BXSS Hunter, so it's kind of different one, different beast probably. It is web-based application that makes your blind access hunting easier and efficient. Simply sign up on bxsshunter.com. Yeah, but the thing is about signing in for third-party websites and not setting that website yourself. There is some drawbacks to that. Of course, there is cons. You will save a lot of time, but this is only good thing about this. You're just saving the time. But other like bad things what could happen. This website could collect your data, collect the targets that you're actually using XSS payloads on. Other thing, when you get your payloads for this website, you will not necessarily will have the feature to use the custom domain, and using custom domain is really, really important in the cases when you have to construct payload, like you have limited characters for your payload. For example, you want to inject blind XSS payload in your full name, and your full name is only 50 characters long. Even if you send a post request, it will also be checked at the backend. So the limited characters are really, really the thing. That's why I really recommend using custom domains and as shorter as possible. But if you're still gonna decide to use this type of tools, I suggest to use like your username will be most likely at the tool website slash username. So choose very short, a short username as possible. So that is like the tip. And other like bad thing, there are some programs, I don't want to mention which programs, but even if you find critical blind XSS, if you are not using your own server, they won't pay you a bounty. That could happen as well. I know a couple of programs who are doing this. So even if you get critical, those critical could be 5 digits bounty, but they won't pay because you are using third party like this. Just saying, be careful. And instead what you should do to like set up your own. I will show probably how you can do that, but keep this in mind. There are like couple of things to know. So like he's showing some screenshots how you can sign up. So this is like a framework for blind XSS. Most of the frameworks look pretty similar to one another. There is like payload section where you can basically copy payloads to clipboard and then smash those payloads everywhere, like in username password field, like copy the payload and enter into target website comment boxes, search boxes, login, blah blah blah. So it's basically spray and pray, doing spray and pray. But what I suggest you to do, like copy those payloads to the clipboard and maybe save them to your notes. And in your notes you should edit a little bit, like modify in some chunks. For example, those payloads could have like, some of payloads are limited up to 50 characters, those payloads will like limit it up to 100 and have like different chunks. So I will show you later on how you can build your own. And I also will use third-party service just to copy the payloads, like just to show other framework, not BSS Hunter, but other, which is actually popular nowadays. So I will also show that and see like how my own approach to doing that. So he's just copying and like pasting everywhere. In the above example, I entered them in the username and password boxes. Yeah, that's probably, we can see that. Now, after clicking login, I will get notification in BXS Hunter. It fires tab. Well, I would necessarily say that's blind XSS. It could be stored XSS as well. Well, to be technically, when like most of the security people think about blind XSS, they think about other user interaction. So by other user I mean employees of the targeted company. Then they review your data either from admin portal or somewhere else, then it will be fired, not after sending the post request, because that is technically just stored XSS, not necessarily blind one, even though he got pinged back to his own server. If you show in your final report that you got pinged back to your own server, we will award you as stored XSS, not blind XSS, just saying. So this is also misleading, like third thing what is misleading from this article. In XSS Fires tab, we will show notification and other details. The best thing about BSS Hunter is that it auto-generates vulnerability report of your every XSS fire. So most of the XSS, blind access frameworks will do that actually. They have the payloads tab, they have reports and pingbacks tab. Simply click on generate markdown button. So it will generate in markdown. That's probably cool thing as well. So the good thing about this framework, what it will like generate your markdown, and usually in the most of platforms, most of the bug bounty platforms, they will accept rewards in markdown. So I guess that's kind of good feature, because mostly those reports on other tools are not exported in markdown. But you can always edit those frameworks, like customize it yourself, apply custom code. But I know most of you are not probably good programmers, so yeah, it's basically you have like multiple options to do, but it's really depends on the skills you have as well. After finding a blind access, you can report it to the organization owning the website, and if it's impactful, you may get bounty or swag. Um, all right, that's what you want to do, but you also have to. I also want to emphasize that you do not necessarily want to target any website and then like ask for bounty. You need to select program which actually pays money, or VDP maybe if you are just testing out the functionalities, but you have to participate in the some kind of program in order to be legit, like legal stuff. Because if you're doing without permission, you're just a criminal. Don't do this. I hope this blog helped you in finding a bug. Remember to follow me. And this guy actually got over 465 claps. My blog, which is actually even better, got less. So I'm kinda annoyed, because it's very misleading and a lot of people clapped here. So I don't know. It has some good things, like he mentioned where you can put the payloads, but that's not enough. Trust me. On my own blog, I actually do explain like where you can, like more places where you can do this. But that was pretty good start. If you don't even know what is reflected XSS, like other stuff, he also tells about other types. That's good. But he also needs probably to show that this is not the only option, and like doing spray and pray, it's not necessarily the smartest way to do. You need to prepare for that before doing this. So like if I could rate this article, I would say it's like 5 or 4 plus out of 10. So I don't know. All right, so this was find blind XSS like a pro. I wouldn't necessarily say that was a right article, and in 2 minutes, maybe yeah, you can find 2 minutes if you are testing on this website, but in real world targets it's not very likely. It will take time actually. So blind XSS initial setup, I have a 2-part article about blind access, but I guess I will show that at the end of the stream probably. Let's scroll maybe other articles which has also a lot of claps. So this one about many different bug types. Since it's not only about XSS, blind access, I maybe skip this one. My first bug, accessing admin page via blind access. Okay, I like articles like this when they are doing just write-ups and they saying the step-by-step process. I really like those type of articles. Those are pretty good usually, and it's worth your time when you're like researching some kind of vulnerability. And I see his thumbnail is pretty good as well. He shows the notification XSS Hunter. He's like showing that he's using XSS Hunter. It's pretty good, I gotta say. And the title itself, it's pretty catchy, I gotta say, because if you include, like small tip for bloggers, if you include the bounty amount, you will get more clicks. Like this is how it works. Like I don't want to brag all the time maybe, but maybe in the title I will just show some bounties, but still like it gets the clicks. Alright, hi everyone and welcome to my latest blog post. Today I'm excited to share with you the story of my first ever bug discovery in popular real estate website, which I will refer as example.com for privacy reasons. Is it really latest the blog post? You shouldn't use sentences like this. Because if you create newer article you need to edit previous one, so it's like just, you know, the thing I spotted. Alright, discovering the blind XSS. I really like that he is going straight to the point, not like, oh, there is other type of XSS, there is this, there is that. He's like diving straight in. Just 4 months ago, into learning about bug bounties, I managed to uncover blind XSS vulnerability. This discovery allowed me to gain control over the admin page of example.com, marking the significant milestone in my cybersecurity journey. Alright, this is very abstract, but okay. What is blind access? Blind access is type of access of cross-site scripting vulnerability that occurs on stored or reflected payloads. Yeah, I like that he mentions reflected because many people think that it could only be stored and that's it. So payloads and are executed in different part of the application, usually where attacker cannot see the result directly. That's right description, because the very important part is here. Attacker cannot see the result directly. That's why it's called blind. God damn it. That's why. Unlike conventional XSS vulnerabilities, blind XSS can be harder to identify and exploit. As the attacker, you don't receive immediate feedback. That's right. That's right. What I was actually saying about previous write-up. You not immediately get the feedback. That's why it's blind. This makes it especially important for security researchers to use tools like XSS Hunter. Like I see a lot of people like check this to track the execution of their payloads. So XSS Hunter is really good framework. I personally am using this one right now. The turning point. In the beginning, I tried basic tactics like injecting malicious code into files I uploaded to the website and using payloads as my name in my account. My breakthrough came when I used XSS Hunter payloads in site's chat feature, where users ask information about properties. So yeah, having a little bit of user interaction is really way to go. So you have to, when you're hunting for this type of vulnerability, you have to like imagine where what of your data will be looked somewhere. So the chat, it means that employee will look to your name, what you wrote, maybe even track your browser, stuff like that could happen as well. Or maybe if you are doing something malicious, there are SOC team or like the people who are reviewing the logs if someone is attacking website. So what we usually view, the IP address, like the endpoints which we used accessing websites, user agent, of course, maybe some headers like referrer header and origin. Those are collected usually by many programs, and sometimes though that data will end up in some admin panels. So if usually the developers, when they are developing admin panels, don't think about security that much there, and that's why blind XSS could fire. Because like if it's some kind of CRM software or some kind of administration software or some kind of, I don't know, employee management or customer management software, those are usually less secured because it's not front facing ones. That's why. So, and that data could be reviewed like way longer than you think. So yeah, the good thing about this article, what he mentioned really important things, but like in your first name, username usually, and sometimes in the chat, those are really interesting areas where you could put the payload as well. But one thing I would like for this article, I would like to see more images, because if I scroll down there is only one maybe, instead of like the thumbnail. So that could like hold my attention for longer. I know this because I'm also wrote quite a bit of blogs myself, so I know you have to get like more attention of people by adding some media for sure. All right, notifications and big reveal. A week after sending a payload, I received an email notification from XSS Hunter that my payload has been executed on admin.example.com. The attached screenshot seemed odd, and as a beginner I thought that false positive. Yeah, so what happens when you see some screenshots which actually looks like a blank page, because that what that blind access framework is doing is like attaching screenshots, like showing your cookie data from that website, maybe some session storage and the DOM. If you just see the blank page, don't think that's false positive, because sometimes that blank page is just some broken website which you actually broke using your payload. So you actually have to open the DOM and read if something is being leaked there. Maybe it could be some employee emails, maybe it could be some customer emails, and also the cookie as well. If there is a cookie, you want to try that cookie and try to log in. And if you will be able to log in to admin.com, yeah, it's a bug, but sometimes you might not able to log in because it could be under some kind of network layer. So you won't necessarily could get access to that subdomain, but other thing what could be still done, the leaked credentials like on the website DOM sometimes. So there are multiple things. All right, I see a couple of questions. Bro, one question: do you Docker version of XSS Hunter? Yeah, I actually use XSS Hunter, and at the end of the stream I will read my own article which I actually made, how you can set up your own XSS Hunter. I also like shown how you can do that. I like attached a lot of screenshots. I will comment on that as well. I don't recommend using third-party websites, and I said in the beginning of the stream like several reasons why. Yeah, you can spin a AWS DigitalOcean instance and run as Docker container. Yeah, you can do that, but I'm actually using same server where I run Docker, plus I use that same server for some recon stuff, which actually some of my members, like third level and the fourth level members, actually has access to those automation channels. So mainly that automation is made on that server as well. So it's collecting a lot of subdomains, checking which domains are new and alive. So it's every day you are getting some kind of results in that. So that's pretty good. All right, let's continue on this website, on this write-up. A week after sending, yeah, so he got after 1 week. To my surprise, the same email notification kept arriving every week. 3 months later, after learning more about XSS vulnerabilities and cookies, I decided to revisit XSS Hunter notification. Late on night at 3 a.m. That happens quite a lot, I got to say. I had a lot of insomnia when I was doing intense bug hunting, so he was maybe hunting as well. I followed the link to a login page, and I replaced website's cookies with the ones provided with an email. Refreshed the page, and boom, there it was, the admin page. But what I really like to show the screenshot, maybe just redacted one, but still show the screenshot. And he also haven't mentioned how he was replacing cookies. So my recommendation to replace cookies is just use cookie editor. You can hit add symbol or import, using import, and you can use JSON, maybe header string, and just import the cookies from your XSS Hunter or any other framework. So POC, create an account on example.com, login, navigate to chat feature where users ask for information and properties, insert the payload, wait for email notification, and open the admin page. Yeah, so it's basically just explaining the proof of concept. Oh, okay, he actually showed the image right now, but where I actually put it, the image to be more interesting is right here after the word boom. So yeah, the impact, I found the vulnerability, I found serious implications of security example.com. It was used by poor input sanitization, blah 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 blah. So basically you can get access to admin panel. So usually those type of vulnerabilities are critical ones, or sometimes high if you cannot actually access, but if you manage to leak a lot of data about customers, their like addresses or something like that, even though if you're not able to log in, it is still high vulnerability. Alright, so he earned $1,000. So what I liked, some proof about this, because it looks like he's just wrote an article. I'm not actually sure if he's truly made that or he made the story up, but this screenshot looks like it's legit, but not necessarily. It could be also made up. So even though this article is pretty good, I think it's pretty decent one, even though he was not like showing which payload he was using. He just said he was using the default ones from XSS Hunter. Right now I cannot open my own XSS Hunter instance. I don't want to leak my own domain that I do use, because I know people could start using the payloads with my domain name, and I don't want to get spammed at my own framework, so that's why. But I will probably show you other tool which has pretty similar interface. So I will show like the payloads it offers and how you can modify those payloads. Okay. Okay, when you paste the blind access payloads in input fields of multiple websites, what do you do to identify where it's firing from? So it really depends. If it don't have a limited characters like 50 or like 100, what I will do, I will if it's don't have limited characters, what I will do, I will try at the end of the payload to type some kind of letters like AAA, and I will, on my notes, I will write down what AAA means. For example, AAA could mean feedback form on certain websites. So I will be, for example, I will be testing feedback forms for whole day. I will be submitting same payload everywhere on the feedback forms, and at the end I will write AAA. And when, for example, the payload fires in the DOM, I could see my whole payload, and at the end of the payload I will see those characters AAA, and I will open my notes that I made previously and I will check where I was actually submitting that. So I usually put those in the payload itself. You can do that, but if you have a limited payload, limited character size, usually it's really hard to tell. You can actually, what you can actually do on the framework itself, you can do some switching as well. Maybe I will show that a little bit later, but easiest method is just in the payload itself. Maybe just add couple of characters and use some notes to describe yourself where you were using those. You have to keep track for sure. That's really important. That's actually what was really good question, because not sometimes, usually the people who are receiving your report, if in case you find blind access, will ask where you have actually submitted the payload, but they actually can investigate themselves where that payload came from, because if we can access their internal systems, we can like review the data flow, where that data was coming from, because they have a lot of logs and stuff like that, but it will take more time for them, so your final bounty could be a little bit less because of that. All right. So we read a couple of articles. Right now I think reading other people's articles will be enough of other people's. I might read some more maybe other time, but I really want to show you like how you can build your unique payloads. Bro, you think blind access is more happening with get method or post methods? I mean, do I need to spray the payloads in authenticated inputs? Yeah, so usually I want this, it's usually most likely it will be stored somewhere. So usually those could be post methods. Don't want to necessarily say that's only those, but it will be most of the time. It could be even on edit forms like put or patch. Get method could be as well if your get methods are being logged by some third-party system somewhere. Every request you made, even though it's get, could be logged somewhere, and if someone looks in logs and your payload will fire on that system, it's technically get method. So both of those, but both is more actually happening more. And guys, if you have questions, just ask them on Twitch, because I only monitor this type of chat. All right, so I will be back in a couple more minutes. What I really want to do a short break, just for 2 minutes. I will prepare my XSS.report account just for this stream, so that's why it's gonna take some time and I need a short break. So give me guys 2 minutes and I will be back real soon. Alright guys, I'm back. So what I gonna show you right now is one of the frameworks that you don't actually need to set up, and afterwards I will show you how you can set up your own. So this will be two ways. Like if you are lazier, if you want everything out of the box and go hunt real quick, yeah, you can use third parties like this one right now. This one, XSS.report. So it has a lot of features, as like many XSS frameworks, many blind XSS frameworks. So what you can do, you can register username. I could put everything. Just your username could be from 1 character up to 20. So what I recommend for you to use as short username as possible. So for example, I logged in as this one, like this is my username, just 2 characters, because I think most of the 1 letter usernames are already registered. That's why I'm using 2 letter one. And I will try to log in right now. As it's just newly created account, I don't see any XSS reports. There is XSS settings where you can basically, you can even set up Telegram bot to get you notifications. So you can download Telegram. Not sure if Telegram will be available for the most time. I heard some, I don't know, not so good things about the owner, but hopefully everything will gonna be alright, so that we can use this application. And basically at the bottom you can also like specify the email to receive the notifications in case you get a ping back from the other server. But what actually really important when setting everything up is XSS payloads. So this is what I actually wanted to show you. So basically you can copy most of those and like paste it in every parameter as possible. But what I also recommend for you to do is prepare them in advance in order to not every time copy from here. And I would highly suggest you to check my stream where I read about XSS polyglots, explained a little bit about that, because when you are submitting those types of payloads, you want to build your own custom polyglots. So I will show quickly what I mean. So let's use this on the side. I have opened the terminal as well. Okay, maybe I will drag a little bit down, but you will be able to see something as well. So I will just create using Nano the XSS or BXSS payloads. I usually use Cherry Tree, but I don't want to open my notes. I have some personal stuff there. I will temporarily disable the chat just in order for you to see everything. Or maybe, okay, I will switch places. That will be better. Okay, here and this one here. Whoa. Okay, now it's better. So what I will do, I will copy this. I will open char counter website. I really like to use char counter or word counter, character counter tool. Just some simple stuff like this. So it says it is 84 characters. That's why I've said what you should use very small usernames, because these things usually takes some place and some of your payloads will be limited character ones. So you can also decrease characters by doing this. It will be 42, like even this, if it has like 40 char payloads. Okay, so I will just use this, maybe just closing right here. I will also create another batch for 50 char payloads. So if I copy again and paste it right here, those is almost up to 50. So I will place these batches right here. Let's see, this one I think, let me quickly inspect. This is image based payload, but I need to check the characters as well. Okay, this one I think I will create another batch like 200 char payloads, up to, like, when I say 200 char, it's not necessarily 200, but it's up to 200 characters, because some forms like text area or message fields would have a limitation, so you can place this payload right here. But it's not actually reached 200 yet, so what I could do is add some extra characters like single quote and this quote as well. I could also use close comment like right here. What I could also do, because I'm not reached the 200, so let me think what I could do. Maybe I could also try to close image tag. Yeah, it's exactly 200. This is perfect. This is perfect. What I could also do right here, I copy this one and just open base 64 decode and encode this online tool. You can also use Burp Suite, but I will just try to decode this. And let's see if I can even decrease right here. Right here is not necessarily decreasing, but maybe like this. It could be less characters. And I will do encode. Okay, equal. If I remove equal, let's see what's happening here. Okay, it still works. Probably I will also remove double quotes. No, the quotes is needed here actually. And every time before even spraying the payloads, what you want to do actually is test locally if it works. If your payload works on your computer, if you get the pin back, it means it's good payload. So after this, I will try to like test it if it truly works. So all right, this does require equal. All right, so what I will do, copy this and copy this, and instead of this one I will try replace, and we can see we have still 6 more characters. So what I could do at the end, sometimes I will just add some comments like this. Maybe at the beginning I will also use this type of comments. So it's almost done, but I could also maybe add extra star, maybe add this symbol, and we have 200 characters. So I will put this payload right here. So the imagination is limitless, but what I really suggest is to test a couple of different ones. So this was just using image tag. Using image tags, those payloads are very big usually. So it's, if you have like almost 200, you should create the batches right here. And other thing, up to 200 char payloads, what you also like, other batch of payloads, what you also want to try on is URL encoded ones, and sometimes even double URL encoded ones. So I will also open other, like URL decode or something. Yeah, this tool is pretty similar to this one, and I will just copy the first payload right like here, remove HTTPS, and I will do encode. Copy this, place to char counter, and we can see we have 70 characters. So I will create other batch for 100 char payloads, like right here. And this is URL encoded. It's pretty easy to see when it's URL encoded or not. And what you can also do is try double URL encode and check also like the char count. It is also could be put right here. So for each of that payload, you also want to do one URL encoded one, and like single URL encoded and double URL encoded, because you will be surprised how many times I actually got ping back when I was using double URL encode. Because it could be that your payload actually going through multiple systems, and on each system what it will do, for example, this payload, all right, it will go to the system 1, it will like URL decode it, and then it will go to the system 2 and also like tries URL encoded, and the final payload what will be injected to the admin panel will be this, if it's like coming from the URL. So that could happen. That's why I'm also preparing some payloads with those type of characters. But what we can also do for 200, so you have to like prepare URL encoded payloads, payloads with escaping multiple things like comments, like this one I think could also escape those, and sometimes escaping multiple tags at once. So what I will do for 200 char payloads as well, I will try copying the first payload right here, and I will try building like this. Oh, and also about source equals x, you don't actually need to use like this. You can also, this will work as well, like here you can also get 2 extra characters just by removing equals x. That will also work. And let me check right here. What I could also do, I could close the script tag, close no script. Let me quickly check my notes. I do have some polyglot escapes, so let me check. I got one thing which actually is escaping a lot of stuff at once. So I think this one. Okay, this one. This is pretty good stuff. Okay, let me check quickly. This one I think at the beginning. So right here, instead of those, I will close the title. I could close the text area, style, no script, no embed, image, but you can basically modify them a little bit, as you can see, up to 100 characters. So I will put this payload right here. So you got the idea what you can do. So when you're researching polyglots, you have to understand, you have to sometimes escape tags, try to escape multiple characters, and sometimes close the comments like this as well. Sometimes you can also close comments right here. This is in case when you're ending up in some kind of like some kind of DOM XSS based context, like inside the JavaScript, then it's actually worth it to do close like this. So that was actually my tip of today. And like after you prepare your payloads, you will just cat them out and just copy. In your situation will be different one. Not necessarily everywhere you will be able to use those. You have to sometimes even modify to your own situation. But basically you have prepared payloads, and if your field allows like 50 characters, up to 50, you would use payloads from here up to 100, payloads from here, blah blah blah. So you got the idea. This is how you prepare everything before like going straight in. Of course you can use like different things, but usually I like using those two. So those two are actually pretty good. And also I don't see one with SVG one. There is SVG on load with onload handler. That one is also pretty good. So yeah, that was actually my kind of tips when you how you prepare for that. So let's maybe continue on. So we read a couple of articles here, but since it is almost 1 hour when I'm actually doing this, at the end already told you, but I will also show my own article. So you can go to my own website, and there is article called "Hunting Blind Access on the Large Scale: An Initial Setup." So this is like two-part article. First part is how you can set up your own blind XSS Hunter instance locally, or not necessarily locally. You want to set up somewhere on the cloud, because you won't necessarily be running your computer 24/7, and you also need to open ports for that to work. So what I recommend is choosing some kind of cloud provider. I recommend using DigitalOcean. It's cheapest one, it's kind of reliable. I tested quite a bit of them, so that's why I recommend that. So I just right here, feel free to read it. I won't read everything right here. It's like really well written article. What I recommend is reading yourself if you haven't done that. So but what I will just highlight the most important things. So I also have some reference to the mass hunting topic. This is like how you can do mass hunting. I also show the different types of frameworks which you can set up yourself. Of course, back then when I was writing this tool, I was not actually explaining about some third-party services where you can use, but I recommend setting your own framework. And I said in the beginning there are some good things about that. So I chose XSS Hunter Express. It's lightweight, but it's pretty good. As you can see, the repository was committed 3 years ago. I know there are some forks of this repository which will have some extra features. For example, by default, this one won't have a Discord notification. So in case if you want to set up Discord, there is another fork for that. But it's like 5 minutes setup and doesn't need that much to do it. So I really liked just using this out of the box. So before starting to use XSS Hunter, there are a couple things what you do need to have. So VPS server and the domain. And for the domain, if you have noticed, I said as less characters as possible. So using 2 characters, it will cost you thousands. So skip that. But using 3 characters and TLD of 2 characters, this will only consume 6 characters in total in your payload. So this is the best option for you. So right here, I'm just showing the example of 123reg Co UK website where you can purchase the UK domain. So you can use my link from here and you will get some discount. You will support me this way. In case if you decide to purchase domains, this is not the only domain provider for sure, but it's actually for the first year just to pay less than $1. This is pounds, but it's around $1. It's very cheap. And VPS, it's actually $5 a month, but if you use my my link for VPS, you will get 200 in credit. So it will basically you will just spend $1. But the bad thing about this that you need to set up yourself. It will be, trust me, it will be pretty straightforward. So just purchase domain. I right here I was telling, but it was just using 6 characters, as I emphasize this a lot. There I also included some good articles about using very short payloads, like minifying XSS and tiny XSS payloads. This is the repository where you can explore more of that. So yeah, you can read those, and this is my link, and I will also show how you can create the VPS server. So basically Just create account on DigitalOcean, click on create droplets, just choose region, then choose the operating system. Back then it was like the newest was this version, right now it's 24 if you choose Ubuntu. For the disk space, I recommend using like 4 gigabytes. You can use like 2 gigabytes, but I recommend like using little bit higher ones. Still, because if you use my link, you will have 200 in credits. You won't necessarily use everything, even though if you are choosing this plan. So yeah, it's gonna be all right. I have set it up SSH key, so I choose the local, give it a name as well, like XSS Hunter Express, and I created the droplet. So after creating the droplet, you need to use SSH to connect. So I used this command SSH root to the IP. This IP was just an example because I don't want to leak my own for sure. And then what you need to do is configure your domain to match VPS. So you need to do this as well as on the VPS side and on your domain provider side. So this is like the video how you can do that on DigitalOcean. So, and on the like domain provider, you need to go to your domain and use my own name servers. Usually it will be pretty much similar everywhere. You just need to put those three: ns.digitalocean.com. And it will take some time. Usually it will take like 20 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, but in some really rare cases it will take 1 day, but it will be 1 day max. So when your domain starts pointing to your server, and like you will use that IP address on DigitalOcean of your newly created droplet and point the name servers. And then it will be pretty much ready, but you will just need to install the XSS Hunter Express on that droplet. So basically connect. I am using UFV tool just to open the ports. Just 2 ports needs to be open for that. It is port 80 and 443 for both HTTPS and HTTP. Install Docker. I just use this command, Docker Compose, because you will be using Docker Compose on the file created on this repository. I think, yeah, this file. But before running Docker Compose, you of course need to clone the repository and edit that file. So just edit the version, add your own Gmail account where you want to get your notifications. So to get those SMTP username, password, blah blah blah, you can like check this article by Google, how you, not article, this is the video, how you can get those details on Gmail. I know most of you are using Gmails, that's why I included this one. So you can just follow this video, it's pretty straightforward, simple. And then also you can change those, but you don't actually need one to do this, but for security purposes. And then just run Docker Compose, just for database. dflag is for running it in the background. First time you run Docker Compose up like XSS Hunter Express, you don't want to use this flag, because after running first time it will take some time to set up, but you will see the password. So you have to save that password, copy somewhere, and then when you go to your own domain /admin, you will paste that password. And this is the interface it has. But the next time that you will be running Docker Compose up, I suggest using this -d with XSS Hunter, because it will be running in background. So even if you will be disconnected from the server, that instance will be running every time. So I recommend doing that for sure. So this is the framework, and this is how you can add the custom JavaScript to like blind access server. Either before running Docker Compose, you can go to like this directory, So I think probe.js is the website where the logic of this relies, like the main logic of this framework. So at the end of it, you can add your custom payloads. I've just shown that I added the alert function. No, console log, because sometimes treasures need to verify if it's truly work or not. So I will just say go to that vulnerable website and just go open your console, because if you use alerts, it will be annoying for employees. Don't do alerts. Instead, just use console log at the end, like on this file, and then like run docker compose. So, but you can also, what you can also do is just use docker ps, see which processes are running on the server, and then just connect to that container. My container will be just the ID of that, and then like you can append, as you can see, probe.js to that end of that file. So this was basically it, how you can set up your own instance. And I have the second part where you can actually, how do you hunt? This is pretty clickbaity title, but it's pretty good. Like, I kind of proud of this one. So as well, I tried to be as much entertaining as possible and as much of informational as possible how you should hunt for blind XSS. So as I said, like preparing endpoint list, usually you can do it manually, but in case if you want to run massively, you can prepare the endpoint list. So what I suggest is filtering out endpoints which has some kind of ways to describe that user interaction might happen at the other side. So like those are areas where you could be reviewed by other people, like customer feedback, header data like user agent is also, I said a couple of times, invoice receipt generation. It could also be at the backend, but it could also be done at your side, but sometimes it could be SSRFs in invoice generation, but it also can be that. Support chat, account registration information, by that I mean that like user data, because your data will be reviewed, and as well like card data, like credit card information could be reviewed as well from your user. So usually the last 4 digits could be reviewed, but even though it's showing the last 4 digits, that could still happen. XSS could still happen. It's not technically good by the people who are constructing those systems, but still. And there are way more areas, but like by customer feedback, it could be also like survey forms. It could also be when you, for example, purchase product, cancel membership, and you will get prompted to fill off some kind of survey, or you will get email. But I recommend subscribing to the newsletters, and if you receive some kind of spammy emails, just click on that email, and sometimes you can get survey forms where you can also like smash a lot of payloads what I shown you, like where you can prepare those. And usually the survey forms will have way longer than 200 characters, so this is your opportunity. And you can use, actually you can use both of like double and single URL encoded payloads along with this one. So you can use all of the possible payloads, because some survey forms have like 5,000 character limit. So you have your opportunity for sure in those. So yeah, just canceling products, sometimes closing account. I seen this on a lot of SaaS applications where you can software as the service applications. Those usually when you close the account will definitely have survey forms, so you will just smash the payload there. All right, so let's continue. I added this one just to keep an attention, Mr. Hacker. So how you can collect the endpoints for that. Of course, those do not limit everything that I wrote. So what you can do, you can use vmore tool. I shown like how you can install it and how to use this. I could explain this type of one-liner. So like firstly you will just collect the data to vmore.txt, then you need to filter it out. So just filter out some files that not necessarily be interesting to you, like images, css, js. Well, for this time you will just filter out js, but in case if you are looking for other ones, yeah, that's pretty interesting file. But then just select certain words which will resemble blind XSS type of things. So feedback, support, survey, like your imagination is the limit. What you can also do is just ask ChatGPT which type of forms are usually being used to do some kind of user interaction. So you can add way more here. So yeah, I will just do QS replace, sort the unique URLs, and then I will just run HTTPX just to see which of those endpoints are alive, or like, because sometimes there could be endpoints which are not actually accessible right now, but back in the day maybe it was accessible. So yeah. Another way is doing Google Docking. Google Docking is really good. Actually, one of my favorite methods when doing this. So let's maybe just clear this one. So yeah. So I will just use like site character. I'm just showing here example of military websites, but what you can do is use like multiple things like feedback form, survey form, contact us is also a really interesting one because you're filling your own details, and sometimes message. Other things like report, where you can report other users. You can what you can do, report your own account, and your own account like username, password, email. It could be XSS payloads. So you report your own account, employee will review your account and will get blind XSS. This is like one of the ways as well. So I'm just showing some docking, and I use extract all the links, like link gopher. Think, yeah, this one. So it has extract all the links. When you get a lot of search results like this, I also use Fox scroller tool just to scroll down really quickly. You can set the speed, so for example pixels per second, it could be very high. Just click this, it will auto refresh, and you will just go down until you get most of the Google results, and then you will just click extract all the links. So the next tab will open with those type of links. You can also like filter them out, and then you can either go it manually, review it manually, or what you can also do, use some kind of tools. I highly suggest reviewing those manually, because in the most cases those forms might have some kind of filtering, some kind of character limitation. Maybe you will need to change your user agent from time to time. To sometimes your user agent could be XSS payload, like other headers like origin and referrer could be also used as payloads. So what I also recommend, other tip, is to use match and replace on Burp Suite, and match and replace for those specific headers. You can basically very easily turn on and off that. So just keep your Burp Suite running in the background and try to switching those headers. So yeah. And those two ways how you can collect links. Of course there are way more ways to do that. You can use crawlers like Katana, GoSpider, HackRoller. I actually have video about those crawlers, how you can use it on the mass scale, so feel free to check that video. So But yeah, basically just collect those endpoints, make sure they are filtered to be at least resemble something that it could be interesting for blind XSS, and either use manual approach and try to I like shown without too much of like edit most of the payloads I use right here. For example, I use some escapes right here, some tag escapes, other escapes, and mixed characters. Of course, mixed characters as well. Like I forgot to explain that as well, but it's also interesting. And I can also remove this one. It will also work, and double quotes are also not required actually. And it really depends case by case, but and also sometimes I do use Arjun. I used to use this tool. Right now I'm barely using it. Usually I don't fuzz for broken, like not broken, hidden parameters. I usually just go to as much of endpoints as fast as possible. I don't stay for long for at one place. So right now I'm not using it actually. So yeah, do some research on how access polyglots and you can build your own payload. So highly recommend checking that. And I also added another GIF just to keep more attention. And the second thing is just using XSS framework, but keep in mind that using XSS framework could get you blocked. That's why I recommend using NordVPN. If you click on this link, you can get some discount and you can support me this way as well. And I also included some one-liners. I know some people like to use frameworks and don't think too much, but I will be brutally honest, you need to put a lot of work in order to get some bounties. So, can you send the link to this website? This is my website, come on. Seriously, do some recon, bro. Alright. And why this is not showing right here? Not found. Alright. I found a bug on my website. I gonna fix this. Alright. So yeah, and you can also create nuclei templates as well. So I created the first templates. Back then when I was creating this template, back then it worked, but right now you need to modify it because my article is kind of old. So, but I used basically those payloads, which I described right here. So you can like choose your own payloads and do a little bit spray and pray. So I was just using on post methods. So like right here. And I also shown other like on get method how you can do some payloads and one liner. So yeah, basically that was my my advice to you how you can do blind XSS. Right, so it was my pleasure to showing you the world of blind XSS. I truly recommend doing some research, building your own payloads and trying them out. Just keep in mind, don't be too aggressive because you could piss off many people by like smashing the chat everywhere or like all the contact forms. Like do this but with a limited amount of sanity for sure. And yeah, it was my pleasure, and I guess for tomorrow my plan is to show you some ways how you can set up your own lab and do a little bit of interesting thing like how you can set up the lab with web application firewall and the website, and then I will show on the defensive side the rules, how you can set up different rules, how you can block the malicious users from submitting XSS payloads, and then I will show also attacker side how you can bypass those rules. So that's gonna be interesting. I already made video about that, but I guess I will do on the stream. It will be more in-depth tutorial, because for the video you have to actually squeeze a lot of information into a very small part of it, but with the streams I can like show how to do it yourself, so it will be gonna be interesting for sure. So yeah, see you tomorrow guys, have a nice day.